Novak Djokovic will meet Carlos Alcaraz in the quarterfinals of the Australian Open after defeating Yuri Lehechka. Djokovic is aiming to win a record-extending 11th title at Melbourne Park, and he made quick work of the 24th seed from Czech Republic, taking out the opening 2 sets. Lehechka broke the serve early to send the third set into a tiebreaker, and it dished up one of the points of the match.
He's a thief, I tell you, a thief.
He stole that point.
Djokovic advancing to his 61st career Grand Slam quarter-final and 15th at Melbourne Park, winning easily 6-3, 6-4, 7-6. All right, so controversy after the match. Djokovic refusing to do a post-match interview with Jim Courier following comments from a prominent sports journalist. Georgie Dickerson is in Melbourne for us live now. Georgie, good to see you. What comments were made and what happened?
Good morning, Drew. Well, it was during Channel 9's broadcast of the Australian Open that sports commentator Tony Jones was doing a live cross, and he had a whole group of Serbian fans behind him. They were chanting, shouting for Novak Djokovic. But this is when some comments from Tony Jones were made. Take a listen.
Back to Melbourne Park, where you can see the Novak Djokovic fans there in full voice. Yeah, the chants are quite extraordinary. Novak, he's overrated. Novak's a has-been. Novak, kick him out. Boy, I'm glad they can't hear me.
Now, while the comments don't appear to have affected Djokovic's performance, storming through his game last night against Lehechka, taking it out in 3 sets, it was the post-match interview with Jim Courier that did get slightly awkward. It's normal protocol for tennis players to speak on court after they take out the win, but this is when he refused to speak to tennis legend Jim Courier.
Thank you very much for being here tonight. I appreciate your presence and the support, and I'll see you next round. Thank you very much.
I was hoping he's going to apologize in public, which he hasn't.
And this is what Djokovic had to say on X after that incident.
I was hoping he's going to apologize in public, which he hasn't done yet. Neither did the Channel 9, so that's the only reason why I didn't do the interview. It was, of course, not a great feeling for me, and it was quite awkward on the court.
Now, there has been no comments from Tony Jones or Channel 9 yet, but of course, controversy has plagued Djokovic at the Australian Open. It was only 3 years ago that he was deported from the country over his vaccination status. This is when he then went on to take out the Grand Slam the year after that. But Djokovic is here still chasing down that 11th Australian Open title and 25th Grand Slam. He now, of course, heads in to the quarterfinals against Carlos Alcaraz. But tonight, Drew, all eyes will be on Rod Laver Arena for our Aussie hopeful Alex de Minaur. He's our last remaining Aussie in the singles. He will be taking on Alec Mickelson tonight in what will be a show-stopping game here at Olympic Park.
Georgie, thanks so much for the update. Plenty to follow at Melbourne Park as always. So Djokovic will next face world number 3, Carlos Alcaraz, who progressed to the quarterfinals after his opponent Jack Draper retired hurt after 2 sets. Heading into the match, Draper had spent more than 6 hours longer on the court compared to his Spanish opponent. The Brit headed up to the dressing room for treatment after narrowly losing the first set. He returned to the court, but was no match for the world number 3, Alcaraz, making light work of his opponent to win 6-1 in the second before the Brit called it quits. Alexander Zverev is through to his 4th Australian Open quarterfinal after defeating Ugo Humbert. The German fired off 15 winners to take out the first set 6-1, but dropped the second to the Frenchman. Zverev gained an early lead in the third before winning a point in a 25-shot rally. From there, the second seed won 6-1, 2-6, 6-3, 6-2. He'll play American Tommy Paul next.
Yes, good evening. So I would like to just clarify the reason why the interview was not conducted on the court, the post-match interview, like it's a common, usual practice. A couple of days ago, the famous sports journalist who works for official broadcaster Channel 9 here in Australia, made a mockery of Serbian fans and also made insulting and offensive comments towards me. And since then, he chose not to issue any public apology. Neither did Channel 9. So since they're official broadcasters, I chose not to give interviews for Channel 9. I have nothing against Jim Courier, neither the Australian public, and it was a very awkward situation for me to face on the court today, and it's unfortunate. I chose to say something to the crowd, but obviously it wasn't the time and space or situation for me to explain what I'm doing right now. So I leave it to Channel 9 to handle this the way they think they see fit, and that's all.